Hello, my name is Tansy and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the autism spectrum and the neurotypical spectrum. So neurotypical and autism, the spectrum we're talking about isn't a line that is like at this end of the line is not autistic at all and at that end of the line is very autistic. The spectrum is more like a colour picker, one of those big circles that you get if you want to colour pick, and there's full of different colours. Now, neurotypicality or neurotypical is not a, should never be seen as like a slur. I think some people are like, well, I'm not neurotypical, I've got traits of this and traits of that. Neurotypical just means that sort of bullseye in the very middle of the spectrum in which the majority of people comfortably sit without making effort, without masking, without trying too hard. They just sit within this sort of this sort of area in the middle of that spectrum, and that's your neurotypical range. Now, if you are neurodiverse, you are an outlier for whatever reason, and to get a diagnosis of something within that neurodiverse outer border, it depends what where your outer areas are. So if you're very sensory, social, are where your problems lie, and in interpersonal skills, and then within your ability to easily and quickly process the world, then you are likely to be considered to be in the autism spectrum or the autism diagnosis of neurodiversity. If, on the other hand, it's with your attention, either being hyper-focused or not able to focus, you have it with your executive function and your ability to quickly come to decisions and hold on to information for a long period of time, you may end up in the diagnosis of ADHD. Now, that doesn't mean that you aren't able to exist within the neurotypical area. In fact, most of us do. We mask, we function within neurotypicality, and that doesn't mean if you are neurotypical that you do not have traits out into the neurodiverse range. Everybody is going to have areas where they branch out into that neurodiversity. The difference is if you have that that autism diagnosis, the ADHD diagnosis, you live in that outer border most of the time, and your traits go into neurotypicality. So you might have some neurotypical traits. Whereas if you are overall neurotypical, your traits go outwards and you're going to have some autistic traits. So I hope that clears up a little bit about what I'm referring to by neurodiversity.